Hi, and welcome to Window Cleaning Dude. In this episode, we're going to talk about the supplies you need to do commercial window cleaning. So with commercial window cleaning, you want to go ahead and watch my residential window cleaning or maybe some of my other videos on the basic supplies, but you pretty much want all the supplies that you would normally have for storefront or residential window cleaning. And I really don't want to go over all the supplies a third time. So you can either go to windowcleaningdude.com and see all the supplies listed there, or you can go watch the residential window cleaning or the storefront window cleaning supply list. You want all those supplies plus whatever I'm going to talk about right now. So what I really want to talk about for commercial window cleaning is not only that you need the basic supplies like the bucket, the squeegee, the washing wand, the ladders, and all that stuff, but more importantly, I wanted to talk about the water-fed pole system. I really feel like the water-fed pole system is the best gear to have when you're doing commercial window cleaning, and it is my preferred method for cleaning windows when doing commercial buildings. Now, even though you can use water-fed pole system for doing a storefront or a residential, I don't find that to be the most cost-effective use of the water-fed pole system, especially since you're going to be using DI resin in your tanks, and as you burn through that resin, you really want to be able to knock out a bunch of windows as quickly as possible to make it worth it, to make that cost for that equipment and that resin worth your while. To do a water-fed pole system, you're obviously going to need a DI tank. Now, when I started window cleaning with the water-fed pole system, I was still working out of my car, so I was kind of limited on the DI tank because the DI tank can be quite large and typically will not fit inside a car. A lot of window cleaners who have a DI tank will actually mount their DI tank into their van or into their truck and just leave it there, and then they'll hook the hoses up from their water source to the tank in their truck, and then the water will flow out of the tank through their other hose into their water-fed pole. And so you got to have a lot of hose, and that's the other thing you got to have a lot of. With the DI tank, you might feel kind of limited if you're working out of your car. Now what I bought was a half-size tank, and that tank I was able to fit into my car easily, and then I was able to lug that tank, to the building. Instead of leaving it in my vehicle, I could actually carry it over to the building, place it down, and hook up my equipment. And so I actually purchased 2 of those half-size tanks, which is the equivalent of like the one larger tank. Now, the more tanks you have, the better if you're going to be doing a lot of window cleaning with the water-fed pole system. That way you can carry a lot of DI and you won't burn through your DI too quickly. You'll have a backup tank so that as you're cleaning windows at a commercial building, you don't have to worry about going and changing out your DI resin. The last thing you want to be doing while you're in the middle of cleaning is to go and change out the resin. They can be quite expensive. There are different models that you can purchase. There are low end, there is high end. And starting off, you probably, if you have the money, just buy the low end. If you have the money, I guess, and you want to just take that leap of faith like you did when you first started window cleaning, then go ahead and buy that expensive equipment if you think you can. But the problem is if you don't really have any commercial accounts, it might not be a good idea to just jump into that right away. So you might want to buy the low end starting point for water-fed pole for the DI tank, because whether it's the cheaper or the more expensive, either one is going to be good, and either one is professional. It's going to be professional grade. With the low end and the high end, you're going to get the same result, at least you should, because you're just basically working with a tank that's going to have the deionized beads that go into the tank. And what those beads do is as the water goes through the tank, they pull out the hard water, the minerals, any calcium and that sort of thing. They pull it out of the water so that as the water hits the glass and it runs down and dries, it doesn't leave any spotting on the glass. And so it's cleaning the water in a sense, and then it's hitting the glass, and then you're cleaning the windows with pure water, pure clean water. No soap involved. On windowcleaningdude.com, I do have DI equipment, water-fed pole systems, and so forth. Just some basic links to kind of get you started if you're interested in doing commercial with the water-fed pole system. I do have some of that, like I said, on my website for you to check out. I also have more information on the website dealing with the water-fed pole system, and you can check all that out there for free. Now, with commercial buildings, like I've mentioned in my other commercial video, you are going to need a water source. The other thing you're going to need is obviously telescoping water-fed poles and brushes. Sometimes you can buy the whole setup where you get the tank, the pole, the brushes. Sometimes you can buy all the gear separately. There are different types of brushes for the water-fed pole system. There's also different types of nozzles at the end of each brush in terms of how it sprays out, different stream types for different situations. Supposedly the best brush is the horsehair brush. Those are very expensive. A lot of the brushes just have the plastic bristles. I think you'll find that will do the job just fine. I own both. I've owned both the plastic and the horsehair. So, you know, at some point you might want to try both just to see what the different results will be. I've also tried all the different nozzle attachments. As far as the length of your telescoping pole, most window cleaners will say, hey, get the longest pole possible. So at least get a 36-foot length pole, longer if you can afford it. And then I also would recommend buying a shorter water-fed pole that maybe does only 2 stories or 1.5 stories, so that if you're in a situation where you don't have to have such a huge pole, you can still clean windows and save yourself some energy. So wherever you can save yourself energy, cleaning windows at any point in the game is always good. So yeah, it's good to have the 2 different length water-fed poles. The other thing you're going to need when you are doing commercial with a water-fed pole is a TDS meter. And the TDS meter is going to measure what the mineral content is in the water coming out of your tank. And so that you don't go over the threshold for having clean enough water that isn't going to spot on the glass. So be sure that you purchase a TDS meter, and it should have all the instructions there on how to properly use it, how to test it. The other thing that you're going to need in doing commercial window cleaning is obviously the hard water damage treatment. So whether you're going to buy Bruce's GSR or you're going to buy the acid-based chemicals, you're going to need to be able to do hard water damage cleanup or restoration, I guess is what I should say. It's actually window restoration. That pretty much covers it for window cleaning supplies for commercial grade. Please give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and you found out something that was helpful to you, and also don't forget to subscribe to be a part of the window cleaning community here on my YouTube channel, and to show YouTube that you enjoy the content that I'm providing for you. Also, be sure to go to windowcleaningdude.com where you can find everything that I know and teach and recommend for free. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.